Welcome to today's Diamond 1 climb video. This time I have a trap branded deck. It completely destroyed Diamond 5 and 4 with a 10 win streak into Diamond 3. And then, when I finally broke through Diamond 3, I had another 7 win streak, destroying Diamond 2 and landing directly into 1. This is the same account that I used to make my 80% win rate Despia deck a few months ago. I have changed a total of 18 cards from that original video, so if you want to compare the differences, I'll leave a link in the description below. So this is my 41 card deck. Every card in here has been vital in helping me win. Before we go into detail about my card choices, let's see what this deck can do. This is a duel against the Pendulum deck. Assuming they do not have any hand traps, the only other thing I wished I opened up with was Anti-Spell. We start with the usual Despia dance of normal summon Aluber, adding Fusion. We use Fusion to send Tragedy and Albaz for Lobellion. Tragedy adds Ad Libitum, and then we spin back Albaz and Lobellion for Mirror Jade. I banish Aluber, sending Albion to the grave and setting 2 cards. In the end phase, Albion sets Branded in red. I elected to use Branded in red in the draw phase, but my Aluber gets called by and banished. The moment they summon a pet monster, I immediately flip Summon Limit, but they scale Garuda, destroying itself and Summon Limit. Now I attempt to set up our next negate. I activate Frenzy to summon Kentragina, then I activate Kentragina's effect to summon Rexturn, leaving us at 2000 life points. Now they can't activate monster effects that have equal or higher attack than our life points. Unfortunately for us, they steal Rexturn, but because they like clicking buttons, they burn themselves for half their life points, preventing the activation of my non-existent monster effects. Don't you just love people who click buttons? After the pen summon, they have summoned 5 monsters. This allows me to use Nibiru while Jackal King has no spell counters to use to negate it. And they ran away. Now, let's talk about the deck. You can probably tell that even now I still refuse to play the Frightfur chain package. I personally think it's bad and it's difficult to have fun while drawing dead cards in the middle of a game. I also timestamped after the deck discussion my favorite duel in Diamond 2 against Frightfur Despia. Even if you don't watch the other Diamond 2 replays, I 100% recommend watching this one. My crossout targets are usually Veiler, Maxi, Ash, and Imperm, but sometimes I use it on callby. You need to have Veiler since there are a lot of Sky Striker players in rank right now. As for callby, your best target is Ash, since it negates both Branded Fusion and Dinomorphia Frenzy. Since the last time I played Despia, Aluber has now been semi-limited. Spriggan's Kit is pretty much another copy of Aluber. Kit adds any branded spell from anywhere, as long as it's not banished face down. The only downside is you will have to shuffle 1 card from your hand to your deck. Kit can also special summon itself if you already have a fusion on the field or grave that lists Albaz as material. Chaos Hunter summons itself when your opponent special summons a monster by discarding 1 card. It is perfect against mirror matches, Sword Soul, Runics, Adamantibators, and the rare Eldritch. Nibiru is another mandatory staple since many meta decks spam monsters like Mathmech. Now let's quickly go over the Dinomorphia package. For the Dinomorphia lines, we can either normal summon Theresia and set Frenzy directly from the deck, or just set Frenzy if you draw it. On our opponent's main phase, pay half of your life points to fusion summon Kentragina by sending Theresia and Stealthbird to the grave. We can pay another half to banish Frenzy from the grave to send Theresia and Stealthbird to summon Rexturn. Rexturn can then use another half of your life points to have all of your opponent's monsters attacked match your life points. Rexturn prevents the activation of your opponent's monster effects if their attacks are equal or higher than your life points. At this point, you will probably only have 1000 or less life points. Eradicator Epidemic is another game-winning card when you have identified what deck they are using and get rid of their spells or traps. My usual target to tribute are Mirror Jade or Kentragina when you have 1000 or less life points. Trap Trick will let us set either Eradicator or Frenzy. Branded Banishment is the reason I no longer play Super Poly or Verte. You can target any Despia or any of your level 8 or higher fusion monsters that are in your grave and special summon it. Then you can fusion summon using any of the monsters on the field, so you could bring back Mirror Jade or Rex Term and then super poly your opponent's field. This card is crazy and it's also searchable by Albion. It pairs well with our next card, Anti-Spell Fragrance. I am playing this card because I got really annoyed when Runics or Sky Strikers use spells. Slowing down Despia mirror matches when we already have our field set up is great too. Good luck playing with your Frightfur cards now. A fun interaction, if you have Anti-Spell activated on your opponent's turn set branded in red with Albion, you can still use it on your next turn. And finally, we have Summon Limit. After my first turn, I didn't really need to summon more than twice. On my opponent's turn, I can always use branded in red before activating Summon Limit, and then, if I choose to, I still can activate Frenzy on my opponent's turn to summon Kentragina and Rex Term. For the extra deck, I have the 4 Dinomorphia cards and the usual set of branded monsters. I also have 1 Link Karibo to Link Tragedy in case I need to. So let me know what you think of this deck, and if you tried it, if you had any success with it on ladder. I am always happy to answer any questions that you may have. I have prepared additional Duel replays that you can check out, and they are some of my final games in Diamond 2. If you made it this far, I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. It helps me feel like I'm not the only one annoyed with playing the same decks over and over. Until next time.